Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday. This is Laura Torres from Blue Star Careers, and today is Resource Wednesday. And I have a very special guest all the way from Missouri to talk to us about services and resources he does from all the way from the Midwest for military spouses, service members, family members. But this particular segment, we want to focus on military spouses. So, Scott, tell us about you and what you do out there.
Hello, everybody. So I'm actually in Illinois. I know it's confusing because I'm in the St. Louis area, even though I'm a big Cubs fan, but I'm just on the other side of the river. So technically I'm in Illinois, but it gets really confusing, right? At Scott Airforce Base. So Scott for Scott. I've been working for the Air Force for about 10 years. Prior to that, I ran a nonprofit organization. And at this nonprofit, what we did is we assisted veterans, military members, and spouses with their job search, resume writing, etc. While I was at that nonprofit, I didn't really help too many military spouses with the process of looking for a job. Started to deal a lot more with that military spouse, and I really had a chance to see the barriers that they have in pursuing a job, whether it's because they're taking care of the family, there's gaps in employment and those types of things. So I really love to give back to this community because I really think that they deserve it and they need it because they serve just as much as the military member does. But just real quick, I'm a certified professional career coach, certified professional life coach, and a certified professional resume writer.
That's a lot of training, and that's a lot of exams that you probably had to go through to achieve all the great success and be very credible in what you do. I know that I keep putting off my certifications because the idea of having to go through the whole test, and it's like, oh my God, that is just really mind-blowing on my end because I'm a terrible tester. But so you support, and I'm glad that you clarify for me what you do and where you're located. But you do support overall individuals right now, especially right now that we are in this virtual format. What is your reach and what is your services? Your guidelines for individuals who want to support or want to receive services from you.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting because pre-COVID, I'm in a classroom and I'm teaching just the population that's in my area. Now, the reach is just like really expanded. It's, literally around the globe. So really, while I let anybody join a workshop for the purpose of tracking in our Air Force database and my manpower, it's open to obviously military members, veterans, the military spouse, their dependents, and then federal employees as well.
Fantastic. And so in this particular segment, obviously for Blue Star Careers, our intent is to really connect military spouses with the resources, with individuals who provide that kind of control. So tell me overall, what resources do you guys offer, or in your case, you particularly offer for military spouses? If you can just recap, you might have said it earlier, but.
Absolutely. Yeah, so for the most part, it would be the same sort of services that we offer the military member. Everything from all of our workshops, resume writing, hands-on LinkedIn, mock interviewing, networking events, resume writing, federal employment. But above and beyond that, I do individualized appointments also, because that's where we can really kind of get into maybe a barriers a person might be having, and really kind of talking through how we're going to overcome those barriers to best market themselves for their next career.
That's great. And I just want to tell you, and somebody said, hello, Scott. One of our viewers just wants to greet you. But I also want you to tell me about federal resume, because that is just such a big, intimidating monster, at least to myself. And I know a few spouses. That is such a intimidating process, but only because it requires, I think, a lot of attention to detail now that I learn a lot more of it. And you have a great workshop coming up. But overall, tell us a little bit about federal employment and then what you do in your end to support that.
Sure. So the way I would look at a federal resume is, yes, it can be a monstrosity, right? 3 to 5 to 7 pages. But to simplify the process, I would first look at it as this is going to be my master resume. So once I put this together, I can pick and choose content from this master resume and move it over to my private sector resume to apply for jobs in the civilian community. the best way to do this is break it up in chunks. Think about the skill sets that you have in your job above and beyond your normal job duties. And then once you have those skill sets down, write descriptions to those skill sets, and then your resume will expand. Add some accomplishments into it, and you're pretty well good to go. You're absolutely right. On Friday, this Friday from 12:30 to 3:30 Central Time, we will be hosting a federal employment workshop. I co-facilitate it with Lewis Collins, who works at US Transcom. He's on the human resources side. So not only do you kind of get my feedback of how you should write the resume, but Lewis and I are going to talk about the different preferences that are available, even for that military spouse, as well as, you know, how to navigate USA jobs, really scour a vacancy announcement to make sure that you get the keywords in your resume to qualify you for that position.
Now, how often do you do these workshops, and what can we overall, how can we prepare to attend this workshop? So that we, you know, come in with a really winning mindset and get ready to just walk away and work on the weekend on that federal process.
Yeah, so the main thing is just bring a pen and paper or something to take notes on. I will take you to our website at Scott Airforce Base, where I have a template for a federal resume. We have the slides that, you know, we'll be going over, so you can go relook at them again. The main thing is just bring something so that way you can start to pay attention, and we'll take care of the rest.
And in your opinion, what is the length normally that it takes to apply for a federal position? If you were to assess that, or is that really hard not to? It depends case by case.
It's just a long. It's just a long time. It's a slow process.
There's no tips and tricks in here on this particular process, huh?
Right. Yeah. It can be about 3 months. But the nice thing about USA Jobs is it does at least track the progress, whether you've been referred or not referred. So you kind of know where you're at in the hiring process. So that part makes it kind of nice, but it can be slow.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I mean, I guess that is usually the biggest, you know, or the most feedback that we get from military spouses is that when you apply for a job anywhere, it doesn't matter, right, that you somehow get put into a navigating black hole that you never hear anything from the recruiters, from the companies, or even the process, right? You don't know the status. And sometimes when you are really in need of employment, you just want to know what you did wrong, or why you can do better, or how to re-engage better with the application. And sometimes, you know, it just certain companies don't facilitate that. But if the federal government does that, I'm glad that that's a good process. So any other quick tips that we can think of for when it comes to military spouses in general? How can we take a little bit more ownership of just general applications or other things that you do? I know that you mentioned LinkedIn, and you also mentioned other workshops that you do. Share with us any other tips that we can.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for most of the people that are here, particularly on the LinkedIn platform, we know and we understand about building community and creating relationships. So that way, when you are ready to go into employment, the foundation is set. If you're getting ready to PCS, the foundation is set because now you've developed a network of people throughout the country. So that's always kind of beneficial. The other thing is ask for help and seek support. So Saturday, Veterans to Industry is going to have an amazing event for the military spouse. Once again, a great way to build community. Reach out to me if you need the URL to sign up for that through Eventbrite. Partake in all the different types of workshops that are available online. Not only are you going to get knowledge, but once again, you're going to get a chance to connect with all the other people that are viewing that workshop. So we have the federal employment this Friday. Next Friday, we're doing your online job search and understanding the applicant tracking system and writing a resume to beat the bots, so to speak. And then on Wednesday, the 17th, I'm going prime time with my hands-on LinkedIn workshop. We're going to go from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock Central Time. Jason Boone, who works with Lockheed Martin, will be there to co-facilitate with me. So definitely take advantage of that. I haven't set up the event page for it, but I'll have it up by the end of the day so that way you guys can start to register for it.
That's great. And I know that what will be the best way then to connect with you and get alerts to all of these great resources that you facilitate for our community?
Well, first, obviously, connect with me if you haven't. That's going to be the first thing. And then when you sign up for the federal employment class on Eventbrite, you can then follow me on Eventbrite, and you'll be able to see all the other workshops that I have coming available and events that I have coming available down the line.
Great. Thank you so much. And yeah, any last minute tips, any other call to actions that we can all do to support each other, and also to maybe embrace military spouse employment in challenges?
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So two challenges that I want to put out there. Number one, when you're visiting somebody's LinkedIn page, scroll down to the bottom, find something that you can, a skill of theirs that you feel comfortable you can endorse. By endorsing their skills, it kind of solidifies their professionalism in that aspect. If you really know the person, take it one step further and give them a recommendation. A recommendation is going to help them in the process of obtaining employment, because a recruiter is going to stumble on their page as they're going through the hire process, scroll on down, they're going to see the recommendation that you left, and that could have an impact on them obtaining employment. So give recommendations. Recommendations.
And these are all virtual, so it's a very easy lift. It's not like we have to write a whole page. I know. Right. I recall when they used to ask me, can you write a letter of reference for me or a recommendation? And I'll be like, oh, but writing, no, that's really not what I want to do, but I will do it for you. So this is an easy, quick just process. Go on LinkedIn and do that. So thank you so much, Scott, for joining us for this research spotlight. And I'm going to share your links. I'm going to put them up. Yep, right there. Yep. All the ways to connect with you, as well as the upcoming Friday workshop, which is going to look really interesting and really amazing for our community. On Thursday, we're going to share some some suggestions on federal employment for military spouses. But of course, everyone needs to go to your workshop so that they know exactly the ins and outs and how to draft their application. So thank you so much for joining us today. Any last thoughts?
Well, once again, I greatly appreciate you having me out here so I can talk about the different things that I have going on to support this wonderful community that we have. And if anybody needs anything, just send me a message. I will do what I can to make it happen.
Thank you. And we're so appreciative that you support our community, but also, because you mentioned earlier, you're attached to the Illinois Scott Airforce Base, but I know, in fact, that you provide lots of great resources and support for all of our community. That's what I could always connect you to Missouri, because, every time we need something within our chapter, you're always there for us. So thank you so much for all of your support. So
exactly.
Yeah, thank you. And those of you who may have any follow-up questions, please post them, and I'll make sure that I'll share those links with you and follow up personally so that you don't get lost. And most importantly, attend the Friday workshop. So thank you, Scott.
All right. Thanks. Take care, everybody. Bye.